The other portion of that being that let's see how accommodating Thailand is when she leaves there. Is she going to find places she can sit? Is she going to be able to reconcile the beautiful Thai women walking around who are 1/4 of her size and checking to see if Sala's looking? That could be problematic. She's so suspicious of other women. She's convinced her husband loves her, but terrified he's going to leave her in a blink of an eye. So how attached is he really? And maybe she would be a little jealous. Now, that's not exclusive to big people or to idiots, but, it'll happen. And when she gets jealous, she gets spiteful.
Hi guys, and welcome to Tailored Talk. So this video is going to be about Foodie's disdain and dislike towards women of colour and her overall misogyny. DD will also be mentioned to pinpoint Foodie's cave woman mentality and her transphobia. But first of all, I want to talk about Foodie's dislike of women of colour and where I think her point of view stems from. I think it stems from conventional beauty standards, and an easy way to look at those standards is through American beauty pageants. Beauty pageants started in the 1920s, and it was a women's only activity that promoted femininity, female elegance, talent, and most of all beauty. But for pageant organisers and sponsors, only one type of beauty was allowed, and that was white beauty only. Now, in the early 1900s, women of colour were still struggling and fighting to be recognised as human. But let's say if a girl of colour was extremely lucky and born into a rich family, even they, rich girls, could not compete, as there were rules that stated that all pageant girls had to be physically healthy and white. Yes, whiteness was an actual rule in the top 10 set of their rules. Their ancestry had to be as white as possible too. And the girls and women had to fill out paperwork charting their ancestry for as far back as they could remember to prove their whiteness. Now, black and brown women made and competed in their own pageants for years. But concerning mainstream pageants, brown women were allowed to compete in the 1940s, but the allowance of black women competing wasn't allowed until the 70s. Over 10 years later, Miss New York was the first woman of black heritage to win a major title, until she had to give up her title because of a photo scandal, but that's a whole different video. So, as you can see, it's been an ongoing battle for women of colour to be seen as pretty, feminine, graceful or beautiful in the mainstream media. Collectively, in 2019, two mixed race girls, half black, half white, and two black girls held 4 major pageant titles, and that's the first and only time that this has happened in pageant history. Foodie Beauty is a prime example of 1900s pageant thinking. Firstly, we're going to take a look at her unhinged and violent reaction towards YouTube creator Miss Charlie Gold. Now, I think the main reasons that Foodie Beauty has a problem with Charlie is because Charlie is conventionally pretty, she's intelligent, she's eloquent, she can be quite scathing with her reactions at times, and she's got over 100,000 subscribers built on Foodie and Amber reactions. Now, that's a milestone that Foodie has yet to reach, and she can't stand it. Now, Charlie has been making videos of Foodie for some time. Some videos are funny, some tease her, some people think the videos are persuasively brutal, but Charlie has gained a huge fan base over her reactions, and Foodie Beauty wasn't pleased. Now, some of Charlie's videos can be seen as harsh, and it's only normal that Foodie would have a negative reaction to some of them. If Foodie had responded with high school name calling, or told Charlie to lose weight herself and left it at that, people may have seen this as an appropriate response. What happened left Girl World open-mouthed as Foodie made a video with Charlie's mugshot as her thumbnail. Now, before criticising Charlie's hypocrisy, Charlie's criminal record, and Charlie's weight loss journey, which had petered out a little, Foodie then went on a 40-minute racist rant calling Charlie Cole, implying that Charlie wears wigs. She never has. Her natural hair is just straightened.
And her lip gloss. Tries to look in her freaking wig all crooked. And tries, sorry, I'm just like mad.
Mad and ignorant. Let's talk about this microaggression. I have never worn a wig or extensions on my channel. This is the hair that grows out of my scalp. It is relaxed though. I do have a relaxer. But this is the hair that grows out of my scalp. I've never said once on this channel I've ever worn a wig. I've been interested in a wig because I love the different things Callie does with her wig, so I'd like to experiment with it one day. Never once said I wear wigs. But I see that comment quite a bit, especially when a lot of my supporters have been mentioning they like the fact that I'm growing out my hair, so I appreciate you. And I've seen some people comment like, I bet that's not her hair. Why?
Foodie threatened to dox Charlie's innocent family, and of course, who could forget this line?
Please Google microaggression.
I know a criminal when I see one.
Good thing she doesn't get paid for her eyesight or her thinking because I'm not a criminal. I look like a criminal to her though.
After being called out and challenged on her racist views by viewers of Foodie's and Charlie's alike, Foodie Beauty replied with a rare KFC mukbang, apologising about her racism over a steaming fresh creamy bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken. Yes, and no, unfortunately, I am not making this up. Now we're going to go on to Foodie punishing women with exposure that they did not want or ask for. So this also happened with DD when she used DD's abuse video for commentary in Kuwait. It's also worth noting that she did the same with DD as well. In Cuba, she doxed DD's workplace. Her loyal beezers went after DD, which got her fired from her long-term workplace that she'd worked in for decades. So Foodie was hoping that because DD had lost her job, Nader would dump the blonde and go running back to her. And that's not what happened. And to this day, Nader and DD are still going strong, which I'm sure eats Foodie Beauty up every day. I still think Nader is the main reason that Foodie is doing everything that she can to make this work with Salah. Now we're going to talk about the fat shaming incident. Now, ever since Foodie Beauty set foot in Thailand, people have been telling her from the beginning that Thai people are very blunt and have no filter. If you even like women who are like size 10, size 12, have reportedly said that in Thailand they've been openly made fun of and been called fat and overweight or plus size. I definitely think that she got excited putting up the fat shaming video as it's one of her highest videos and the highest views. However, I do think that she still resented that woman for saying what she said. Some people think that she wasn't fat shamed. I do believe that she was. Looking at the video, the woman asked if she was pregnant and exclaimed that she was shocked, told her that she needed to eat less. She may have done it lightheartedly, and she did it without bullying, she did it without malice. But fat shaming is fat shaming. It doesn't matter what tone you say it in. If you say an insult, you say an insult. It doesn't matter if you don't mean it. It doesn't matter if you've done it lightheartedly. It doesn't matter if you laugh while saying it. It doesn't matter if the recipient laughs at you while you say it. Fat shaming is still fat shaming. It is what it is, and that's my opinion. I believe that she was fat shamed. I just don't believe that Foodie handled it well. Now, instead of just acknowledging to herself that she was hurt and the woman hurt her feelings, Foodie put the woman and her child in the thumbnail, knowing that her beezers and internet crazies would go after them. Foodie did it, posted the woman and her baby in the thumbnail for revenge. She didn't have to post the baby, but she did because she specifically wanted to be cruel. Hi guys, a new development came in. So, Foodie Beauty has a sock account called Charles Reed, and Charles Reed went into Girl Please's comment section and said about this woman and her baby. That woman's baby needs to be confiscated immediately. If she's going to raise it to be discriminatory, she doesn't need to have it. And Girl Please replied with, "That's why you're such a barren beep, because you believe and address children as it. Comment with your 94k account, you nasty coward heifer. Come to Jamaica so people can ridicule you like never before." So it's not just that she has to put this woman's thumbnail and the baby's thumbnail up, but she also has to make sock accounts to basically make fun of the baby and say that she needs to be taken away from the mother. Like, this is how crazy and how weird Foodie Beauty is. She can never say what she really thinks as Foodie Beauty. She has to use a sock account so that she can spout more vile hatred towards that woman and her child. Exposure as punishment to women is the very same thing that she did to Alaa's wife. Do you remember that, guys? Now remember, Alaa Shabib, Alaa was Salah's friend. Alaa still is Salah's friend. Alaa is the one that went live in the beginning, and this is what he said. Hi guys, so this is a message from Rana.582, and they say, "I'm translating things that I caught during this live and Nada's live that was said in Arabic and broken English. Chantal gave Salah 2,000 dinars, which is 9,000 Canadian dollars. Salah and Chantal are not married at all. Salah sold his car because he couldn't afford anything now that he's quit his job. Salah does not have a child. Alaa and his wife bought Chantal Versace perfume in her marriage picture. Chantal broke the bed and the couch in the first apartment. Chantal cannot fit in the bathroom. The dialogue between Nada and Alaa was just them trying to set up the live. Alaa still loves Salah and wants him to wake up. Chantal bought both wedding rings with her YouTube money. Alaa says maybe she's wearing the hijab because she doesn't have hair. Alaa only asked for the number to send her his YouTube link. He said that she's lying about the flirting. Also, he also away from this, he did say that she did smell. And that's a majority of what he put in his live, and that's the reason why Foodie got so angry and decided to expose him and his wife. Even though Alaa was the only one that went live, Alaa did this alone without any prompting or nobody told him to do it. He went live to revenge for the way that he felt Chantal treated him and his wife. He didn't like it. He went live. In retaliation, Foodie posted a video with a thumbnail of Alaa's wife showing her face, with the words calling her a sharmuta, meaning a whore in English. She began her revenge live by calling Alaa fat and that he was a tightwad, that was a lousy father, but a majority of the live was spent bashing Alaa's wife, saying that she complained all the time, that Alaa's wife trashed Alaa to the other wives, that Alaa's wife trashed the other wives to Foodie. Foodie made fun of the fact that she had to work in retail because Alaa wasn't making enough money. But of course, that wasn't the worst thing that she said. The most poisonous insult was about Alaa's roommates. Foodie told everybody with glee that Alaa brought in 4 roommates to live with him and his wife because he was so broke.
Anyways, Tion, his wife, by the way, she gossips all the time, the whole time, and she even talks shit about her husband. She was telling me, she's like a little yappy dog, just like gossiping. She was telling me that her husband, Alaa, doesn't even, they fight all the time over money because he won't even give.
I cannot believe that
this woman had Chantel in her home, and she just, was venting, getting some stuff off her chest, and Chantel sets her ass right here on YouTube and tells the entire world, well, the YouTube community, this woman's business. Can you fucking imagine doing something like that? Please, Chantel, do tell. Because this is totally going to make her look so bad. Whatever you're about to tell us about this lady's husband that she vented to you in privacy, and you're going to tell it back to us, it's definitely going to make her look bad. Go ahead. His kids money. He's such a tightwad. Like, he won't even send his kids money who live in the Philippines. Like, that's just disgusting. He's just a freak. Anyway. Okay. Also, when they were married, to save money because he's such a tightwad, he had, like, what, 4 black guys living.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Unreal. Wow. Alright, let's hear it.
Because he's such a tightwad, he had, like, what, 4 black guys living in the house, and, like, he's a cuckold, basically doing stuff with his wife is the what we're insinuating here.
Oh, so you're insinuating that she's a whore that was having sex with these 4 black men that were in their house? Would it have mattered if they were white, Chantel, or Syrian, or Hispanic, or why does that matter? Why couldn't it have just been men? And she says it like that because that's how she thinks of black people. I mean, that's just the fucking truth of it. Or she wouldn't have said it like that. She said it with disgust. You're not. She implied that Alaa's wife was sleeping with all 4 of these men in this tiny little apartment. Oh, and who can forget that all of the roommates were black? Foodie may have mentioned that once or twice. Alaa was the one that exposed Foodie, and this is how misogynistic Foodie is. Alaa was the one that sat by himself and made a video exposing her and calling her smelly and saying that she was ungrateful and that she treated the other wives like slaves, and they were already sick of her. He's the one that went live and spilled all the gossip. What was Foodie's reaction? It was to basically say that he had a bigger gunt, but her reaction was to dox his wife, put this woman that is very private, put this woman that let Foodie into her home. It was to dox his wife, smear this innocent woman's name, and spread that she was prostituting herself out to men. And not only just any men, that she was like prostituting herself, that she was whoring herself out to black men. It had to be black men so that people would think that she was dirty and she was unsavory and that she was trashy and that she was ghetto. And the reason that Foodie put up her thumbnail is because she thinks, it's my belief, that Foodie Beauty thinks that all women of colour are ugly. She assumes that all of her fan base and a majority of people think like that too, think that all women of colour are ugly, and that goes back to the 1900s pageant beauty standards. She thinks like that. She assumes that everybody else thinks like that. So, like the fat shaming lady, Foodie put Alaa's wife's face on YouTube so that people would make fun of her. People would say that she was ugly. People may compare her to animals. People may say that she's fat. And all of that hatred towards Alaa's wife would make Foodie feel better about herself and feel pretty. What happened after that was Alaa threatened legal action, but never went that far. Foodie got a strike from YouTube for the outrageous racist bullying against Alaa's wife, and we haven't seen Alaa or his wife in the same room as Foodie ever since. Now we'll go on to DD, Foodie's infamous love rival. Okay, so this video is predominantly about women of colour, but DD is a white woman. But I've got to put DD in this because with DD, we've got to talk about Foodie's transphobia against her. Okay, ever since DD came on the scene, Foodie Beauty has always tried to imply that DD was a man.
why these things are problematic. Like I said, I know she's not going to change, but I do know that there are like well-meaning people in the community who might not understand like why the things that Chantal are saying are bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, but instead of just focusing on the fact that Dee Dee is the other woman, she has to make it about her appearance. In particular, like I've seen a lot of clips of Chantal talking about how big Dee Dee is, how broad her shoulders are.
Last night's video thumbnail? What the fuck? He's like this, and she's like this, her shoulders. Anyway, not that it matters.
And you know, these things alone might only really be like borderline transphobic. I feel like, you know, you see people using these traits to describe women that they think are manly and things like that. So like, I don't know, but also like women exist with broad shoulders who are big, you know? And it's just like not necessarily transphobic, but also, it could just be fat phobic, but Chantal would never fat shame somebody else. Like, fat shaming is bad unless it's at people she doesn't like, you know? But I think it's this particular language about things like her broad shoulders, her being really big, built like a fridge, whoever, whatever, whichever clip you want to put in of Chantal saying this shit about Dee Dee. I think it's those kinds of things that have led to and instigated people and discussing whether or not Dee Dee may or may not be trans, okay? Whether or not Dee Dee may or may not be a man or whoever, whatever. And let me be very clear, because I'm not going to sit here and speculate about whether or not Dee Dee is a woman. Because for all intents and purposes, there is no speculation. Dee Dee is a woman. Not or put it in a title of a live stream. Dee Dee is a real woman. Dee Dee is a woman. There isn't a debate unless Dee Dee comes here and says something else to prove otherwise.
That she looked like Donald Trump, that her hands were too big, that she was too tall, that she was so ugly, that her shoulders were so broad, that Dee Dee couldn't have been born a woman because she was just so manly. And a lot of people called her out for the transphobia, and she actually does what she usually does. She plays dumb, she plays stupid, and pretends that she doesn't know what that is. All these insults, however, didn't stop Foodie from licking Dee Dee's caramel Kit Kat, but it does show you how vile Foodie can be about competition when she's having to face off against women for men's affection or attention. The same goes for the woman at the floating market in Pattaya. So there's this beautiful, gorgeous looking woman. And it's like a tourist attraction. She's with this guy, and they are obviously a tourist attraction, and people take photos with them. So Foodie says, "Oh, they came up to us, but I think she went up to them, and they pose." And Foodie is on the man's side, and Salah just happens to be on this beautiful woman's side. She's in like a beautiful red dress. She's absolutely stunning. And obviously, Foodie gets so jealous that this woman is so beautiful and that she's next to her stunning, handsomest man, RoboCop husband. She's so jealous that in the YouTube tags, she labelled this woman as a ladyboy. Now, she's taken the tag away now, because when I went back to check, the tag wasn't there anymore. But there were, on many forums, they were saying that she did put the ladyboy tag. And I tend to believe it because it came from multiple sources. And then I checked and it wasn't there anymore. So she did label this woman as a ladyboy in the tags. Now, Foodie doesn't know if this woman is a ladyboy or not. She's just jealous that this woman is pale and slim and beautiful, aka she's Salah's type. She's Salah's type. So she added the tag of ladyboy to demean the woman and put a question mark in people's minds over this woman's gender, so that people would deliberately see her as a freak show. And this is how malicious and how vindictive Foodie is and how misogynistic she is concerning other women. My closing thoughts. When Foodie Beauty says that she has pretty privilege, do you remember? And she was like, people are jealous of me because I'm pretty. She is the Regina George of Girl World. Like, when Foodie says that she has pretty privilege, she genuinely believes it.
Number one, I'm pretty, okay? That has a lot, and I don't mean that to be conceited. I'm being very matter of fact. Being pretty gets you a lot of privilege. I'm just saying, you can get away with a lot if you're pretty.
Her YouTube name is Foodie Beauty after all, and she really thinks that she is her namesake. Her whole family have told her all her life that she's cute at any size, and because of her 1900, pageant beauty values, she really believes that she's prettier than any woman of colour. That includes the fat shamer in Pattaya, that includes Charlie, that includes Alaa's wife, that includes the beautiful woman at the floating market. She believes that she's hotter than any of those women, and that's one of the reasons why she picks men of colour. Because if she goes after men of colour, in her eyes, there's way less female competition. Because she sees herself as a trophy wife. According to Foodie Beauty, her checklist of beauty standards are slim, white, and pretty. And Foodie believes that she ticks 2 boxes. Can you guess what those boxes are? Yes, they're white and pretty. And those are her 2 top bullet points for success. And in her mind, in Foodie Beauty's mind, being white and pretty hasn't let her down yet, because she's always had a man. Okay guys, that's the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Thanks for listening.